Donald Trump won, and I am very, very afraid that he might deport my mother-in-law. She entered illegally to the country, and she lives in Street 4, number 47, apartment D, New York. I am very, very concerned. That's right behind the green apartment. Yeah. I have nothing bad happened to her. The gate is always open. You don't have any dogs either. Street 4, number 47, apartment D. If she got the border, how my life would be. Why? Street 4, number 47, apartment D.
Well, there you go. I don't think those were tears of sorrow telling on his mother-in-law. Apartment D. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. Here we are again. This is Endtime's report number 10, the election edition. Election was last Tuesday, and we have elected a new president. Donald J. Trump is going to take the office next January, and everybody, voted, and looks like it's been a big red wave. That's what it looks like. So we thought we'd get into some videos today. Got a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff here. Just throwed a bunch of stuff from Twitter, X, and thought we'd go through them and see if you'll enjoy them. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on these videos. We really, truly appreciate it. Okay, let's see if we can get into the first one here. Yeah, here we go. Trump is changing women. Okay, here we go.
So let me get this straight. You got women cutting off their hair and withholding their bodies from men, all because Trump got elected in office. Well, that man really doing his big one, because that's what we've been wanting y'all to do the whole entire time anyway, is to keep your legs closed. That way you don't have to be screaming about women's reproductive rights. Because guess what? You got the right to keep your legs closed. So congratulations. You passed the test. Thank Donald Trump later. So let me...
So, I don't know. It's like I said, I've watched a lot of videos and stuff. I think a lot of people have. They've seen a lot of stuff going on out here. There's, see what say what you will. I mean, the voters spoke, and not only did they speak for the presidency, but they also spoke for the House, it looks like, and also the Senate. So, a lot of people are getting a little worried. And I think we'll see that in some of these videos when we go down through here. Let's see. Oh, so now Tom Homan is now the new border czar, as Trump claims it. And as you can see, I think it says Trump's name's Homan as borders czar. Role still unconfirmed. But here's a little. Let's go back in time here, where this lady, the bartender, watch her trying to interview Mr. Holman over the stuff with the border. Let me just go ahead and blow it all the way up here. All right.
Mr. Holman, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
And she says, okay. Well, I mean, he's stating the fact that, if it's illegal, it happens to anybody who commits a crime, they do get separated from their family. So, he ain't lying. And apparently, he sounds like a straightforward guy. I don't think it bodes too well for the people that are, possibly here illegally. But the thing is, she just wanted to keep, pushing that point of, she kept saying, you're separating the family. And, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And I think most of these immigrants that came in here are usually just young males. So, all right, back to the screen here. Let's see what else we got. Number 2. Oh, Bill Meyer says in October 15th, 2024, this is from End Wokeness, Trump is not going to win. Enough, period.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
So you think he's just worn it out? You think people are
Yes.
just going to get fatigued?
Enough.
This didn't age well, guys.
I
Just
feel,
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people perhaps, but I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now.
Wrong. She didn't.
But I think she will win. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers,
Oh, I think he's accepted it quite well.
I think I don't think their heart will really be in it as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels taking the poison and giving the poison to the children because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism. I make an analogy, but I don't say he's a Nazi. But
Well, you might as well, Bill. I mean, using Goebbels? I mean, come on.
I think for most people, it's just fatigue. Yes, I think it's time. Am I going to work?
Well, it is fatigue, and I think the American people spoke. I think they're tired of wokeness. I think they're tired of delusions. I think that they're tired of people. I mean, don't they? We're going to get into some of these videos. Some of these people reacting to the left, reacting to Trump's win. But they think they don't know that he was president once before, and none of this stuff happened to him. But people are already ready to go to Canada. But wrong, Bill. Wrong. There's not fatigue. I think the only fatigue that the right is having right now is the fact they're tired of putting up with the left's nonsense. I think they've actually been pushing so much that's why the House and the Senate are following suit. All right. Once again, I'm doing these hodgepodge. It's just a potpourri of things. I throw it up here. So I've probably watched all these at least once, but I really don't know what it's going to say because I only saw them probably once. Oh, here we go. Okay, college students are now getting coloring books. So, I want to say something about that for a moment. I find that fitting, considering most of them don't want to grow up anyways. You ought to give them coloring books. I mean, college students need coloring books, especially the ones that are children-like and have never grown up. And we're going to see some people that when they're going to be throwing fits, and you're going to see all this. I think people have seen a lot of the fits that people have thrown over things they don't get their way, and they don't understand the word no, and maybe they need coloring books to help them cope. That's what it says here. College students are now getting coloring books to cope with this election. This is from End Wokeness.
For a lot of the folks, again, because of the fear and the uncertainty of what's coming, this can be a traumatic moment for them. And so I would argue that counseling is not a dramatic response, but that it's an appropriate response. And this is a healing-centered campus. Some of it was more formalized counseling services, and others were really just more intentional interactions. Come in and, do meditation coloring sheets. For a lot of the
meditation coloring sheets. What did she say here? What was it right about there?
Dramatic response, but that
dramatic response to an actual American foundational election. It's a traumatic. It's traumatic that their guy didn't win. Oh my gosh, how did all the other generations through presidential elections, how did they cope with coloring books? I mean, this is how childlike this new generation is. This doesn't look good for us. I mean, it really doesn't. All right. Next. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what. I watched this video and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to play all 4 minutes of it. This is the smartest guy in the room. Okay? You're going to find out why. Because he's got to deal with a lot of people, and especially that teacher that's talking in the background. I mean, this guy is a genius. I hope this guy gets into politics because we need people. This guy's got common sense when he's in a room when there is none. So.
What right is he taking away from women? He don't like your race. He will spit on you. He don't even like what right is he taking away from women? He don't like y'all. He don't like none of us.
Oh my God.
He don't even like his own race.
What right is he taking away from women? Y'all still not answering my question. I've been asking for like 5 minutes. What was the answer? Y'all brought up education once I asked that question. Because y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Y'all just go on Twitter, look at what they say, and just run with it.
Myron, you go on Twitter. I watched the debate. I heard everything.
Y'all thought he was taking away abortions. He can't even do that.
Myron, what debate did you watch?
He's so stupid. Yes, please look at the Chromebook. So I want to see what right he's taking. Let me search it up. What right? Let's see what right he's taking away from women.
Look at what he's saying now.
He wants to know what rights were taken away from women, and they don't even want to talk to him. I like this guy.
He's taking away from women. Let's watch it.
Okay, let's see what he's giving you when he is.
No, what right is he taking away from women?
Let's see what he's doing for you.
Because they said that last time. And y'all also said Project 25. He also said publicly he's not going to do no Project 25.
He's a liar. Do you believe him? He said, nigga,
y'all only want Kamala Harris.
Your body, my choice. That's what did.
Why do you need an abortion? Why do you care about abortion? You're in high school.
It doesn't matter.
You're in high school.
Women get pregnant. Women our ages get pregnant.
Is you getting pregnant? Is you getting pregnant? Did you get pregnant once?
I shouldn't have to fear that though.
Are you even a? You're probably a virgin. You're worried about the wrong things, yo.
Worried about the wrong things.
We got wars. People trying to have wars with us, and y'all worried about abortion. Y'all worried about abortion. Y'all not even having sex. Like, look at y'all.
It don't matter if we was.
And we have to take. Let's focus on the antebellum era during the Civil War, the origins of the Civil War.
Yeah, let's focus on that. People want to talk about how Trump is a good president. What's wrong with voting for
But that
Trump?
we could, well, just listen, that we could still be friends after the election. I said, no, we can't.
So get this. The teacher says he's talking to supposedly somebody. He says, "Can we be friends after the election?" And the teacher says, "No, we can't." Now watch what this young man says. Oh, it's perfect. Rewind it. See where he says, "No, we can't." Watch.
You stop being friends with us because they voted for Trump? Teacher.
He says you stop being friends with somebody because they voted for Trump. I mean, he's calling him out. I mean, this is like the smartest guy in the room because people can't handle. Oh my gosh.
Way more.
He's saying you can still be respectful and that you can still have mutual terms with that person despite others having different
What are you
sides
talking
to
about?
other.
He just said his friends, those that he hang with, and correct me if I'm wrong. You said they asked you if you still gonna be cool after this. Right or wrong. So what are you talking about, ma'am?
No, Dad, again, let's not single anybody out.
And the teacher says, let's not single anybody out because I guess they're having this open debate in this room about the election, and let's not single anybody out. But yet the teacher's making statements like, I don't want to be friends with somebody if they voted for Trump. Oh my gosh.
No, because she said that's not what you said. I'm like, what is she talking about?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion now.
Right. So why would you cut somebody off because they voted for Trump?
He didn't say, well, he can do
You
what he
can't
wants.
dominate the discussion.
I never said you could.
If you want to have some input, so the dialogue, and you have to do so in a respectful manner and to.
I think he's absolutely, totally being respectful. He's just asking them the questions about their idiocracy. I mean, you're saying you wouldn't want to be friends with somebody because they voted a certain way, and he's asking questions. I haven't heard him really make a statement other than the fact he's questioning them of their beliefs and the words that came out of their mouth.
Be tolerant of each other's views. Now, just because.
And it don't sound like the teacher's too tolerant of other people's views when he's going to end friendships with people because they voted a certain way.
I think I expected that our country citizens were more decent.
Because they voted for Trump, they're not?
Yes.
Wow. You hear what the teacher just said? And the kid asked, again, he's only asking questions. He says, this place would have been more. Let's go back here a little bit here. I'm telling you, all the videos I'm going to show you today, this is my favorite. That our country citizens were more decent.
Decent?
Because they voted for Trump, they're not?
Yes.
So if they voted for Trump, they're not decent people. This is a teacher telling this. I mean, the kid there ought to be teaching the class, not the teacher.
What? Jared. Don't do that.
No, wait.
Our citizens not decent because they voted for Trump.
You have your views, and I have mine.
But you're not tolerant of, the teacher's not tolerant of the opposite view of him. Ending friendships, not calling you decent. That's the side of the left. It's absolutely intolerant. You can't talk to them.
But that's why you cut them off,
So
because you don't
if I have
correlate.
friends that tell me that, oh, MAGA, I can't be friends with them.
Because he voted for Trump.
Exactly. Kid, I'm proud of you. I really am. You give me hope. There's people out there that can see things, think about things, have common sense, and can ask the right questions.
What?
You don't get it. It's
Some
like you
people
don't
can't have
want to
their
surround
own
yourself by
opinion.
somebody who
Trump is a good president. Some of y'all are blindsided by what y'all hear on the internet.
And he's right. I really love that video, and that kid, oh my. I'll tell you what, I hope he gets into politics. I really do. Smart young man. All right, next up. Oh, I love this. I had to see it on there. It's this is better coverage than 5G. Look at you ever seen those maps for the phone coverage? Look at this. That's what it reminds you of. Well, it's a lot of red counties. A lot of red counties. A lot of them. You just see the left here, the left coast. Here's the right coast. I love that. Better coverage than 5G. Oh God. So you ever watched the Whatever podcast? They do some really long shows on YouTube. I love watching some of their stuff and their content. But just to show you about some of this delusion that we spoke about earlier, here's a great delusional lady right here. This girl says she will only date men earning over $5 million a year. This lady here. This comes from Clown World. It's the Whatever podcast. I'm going to let it play. It's only 45 seconds long.
I dated a broke guy. Anything better than that? My dad makes more than 6 figures, and my brother makes more than 6 figures. So
you can't date that.
This is what I'm saying. I want somebody who is more than 6 figures, maybe more than 5 mil, 10 mil. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
What? Wait, 5 mil a year?
Yeah, 5 mil a year is a basic minimum.
Hold on, wait. 5 mil a year is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So 4 mil.
No. You don't cut it, bro. You just donate some of that money.
No, I mean, no. I think the bare minimum would be like $1 million.
$5 million a year is your bare minimum.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not. I dated a broke guy. Anything better than?
Listen to that. I mean, this lady. If you don't make 5 million, guys, you ain't got a chance. Not with her. Okay. Oh, by the way, I want to remind. I should have said this earlier, but so far we haven't got into one of these videos. I think there's a couple of them that's got some cuss words in it and everything. Just give you a warning. But I don't think you can get a full appreciation of some of the videos with people reacting and without not having those. So if they offend you, I'm just giving you a warning. All right, here we got from Illuminati Bot. This is Kristen Megan. She blows the whistle on the chemtrails in the U.S. And if you don't know what chemtrails are, they're believed to be those big, white, long, cloud-looking stripes coming out of the back of jets, and they believe that they're poison in the air that we breathe. So.
One day I was going through that computer system, which if you want to look it up, it's called an Air Force Form 3952. It is the approval of hazardous materials. I was finding tons and tons of large quantities of aluminum, barium, strontium in the forms of oxides and sulfates. I also conducted soil sampling because I thought, if this is real and they are spraying this, it's going to get to the ground. So I conducted air sampling, I conducted soil sampling, and I was getting high levels of these contaminants. When I started asking the question again under a new commander, I never in my life thought I would have somebody look me in the face and tell me, I am questioning you. Is there something wrong with you? You've been looking really depressed lately. I can put you under mental evaluation for up to 120 days. Who would take care of your daughter? Because I was divorced at the time. As soon as I heard that, I knew. It validated everything I ever thought. And I thought, I've spent 9 years of my life trying to protect human health, and here we are, violating law after law after law. Just sitting here, instead of protecting the people, we are poisoning the people. And I've never got up so much courage from that fear of being thrown in a cage, because when you're in the military, folks, you're a number, and every aspect of your life is controlled. I ran and did not look back, and I have been blowing the whistle and shouting ever since.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of people talking about these chemtrails and stuff for years, and I think we're seeing, we might see more evidence on this, maybe in this administration. I don't know. It always made me wonder. Always made me wonder. Well, you heard her. Oh, this is a 9-second video.
Can someone tell me what MAGA men find attractive so that I can wear the complete opposite? Thanks.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think you have to worry about it. I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. Just start talking about your beliefs and the things that, you believe in. And I'm pretty sure that MAGA men, I guess, would at least have enough common sense not to be with somebody that's going to be that. I mean, this just seems so extreme. What is up with this generation that they've got to go to TikTok like they're talking to a bunch of people and got to express their views. And you're going to see people crying today on some of these videos. And I don't understand why you would want to stick a camera in your face with tears rolling out of your eyes and then trying to talk to people about how the world is going to go all crazy because your person didn't get in the office. It just, everybody thinks they have a really, really important opinion on stuff. I'm going to tell you, my opinion don't mean nothing, really. I mean, except to my wife and my kids. And that's it, I mean, these people think that I think they're taught this, I don't know. Maybe it's this generation. I'm 53 years old, guys. And we never acted like this. We never would have acted like this. Oh, Bernie. Bernie's here. He's about ready to answer a question about this Sonia Sotomayor that, that they're encouraging her, the Dems are encouraging her to step down because they said because she's 70 years old, she has type 1 diabetes. There's a lot of people at 70 years old who's got type 1 diabetes and they function just fine. They're wanting to get somebody young in there before Trump takes office and they can get him through real fast. That's what they're worried about because they think if something, God forbid, happens to that lady, that she's going to be replaced by Trump and Trump's going to put another conservative on the Supreme Court, a younger person. Politics at its best, but I guess this has been going on for many, many, many years. But that's how so left-right we are in this country. This left-right paradigm pushing against each other. You're either a conservative or you're a liberal. It seems like the word American doesn't show up anymore in conversations. But listen to how simple his answer is, and listen how he just doesn't say much.
Senator, quickly before I let you go, I do want to ask you about the Supreme Court. Some Democrats behind the scenes quietly talking about the possibility, should Justice Sotomayor step down, to allow President Biden to appoint someone who's younger. She's only 70 years old. Is that something that you would support? Do you think she should step down?
No, I don't.
Would you like to elaborate a little bit there, Bernie?
Have you heard any talk of this?
A little bit, yes. I don't think it's a sensible approach.
And you don't think it's a sensible approach?
Correct.
All right. Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you very much for your time this morning and your perspective. We really appreciate it.
His perspective. It's short. It's just short. Yeah, I don't think that's it. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's perfect. Oh my gosh. All right. Next up. Oh, here's one of them. Now, I told you about this. And there might be a cuss word this or two, because I'm going to tell you, it seems like this emotional response doesn't come without some kind of dirty words. But It's only 12 seconds long. And you ever remember those football things where they would show somebody hitting and then it says, they would say their name, University of Texas, okay. Well, you're going to see something like this in this video. It's kind of funny. Well, large first. Here we go.
Stop. Stop.
Demetrius Doorframe Williams, Kamala Harris Community College.
Stop.
Well, this Doorframe takes her out too. Watch this. Wham!
Demetrius Doorframe Williams.
Look at the
Kamala Harris Community.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, how can he be that upset? I mean, I've said this to people, I've got friends that are on the left. I've got friends that are on the right. And every time we've had the opposite guy that, if my friends, if I'm talking to somebody who's a conservative and I told him, they didn't act like this, we got through this Biden administration. I mean, we got, in the left, they got through the Trump administration. I just can't. These young people never used to be this politically involved. I remember being 18, my early 20s. I voted, but I never, really overthought it to the point that I'd go make a video and show my reaction. Of course, I don't think she's making the video. Boy, I tell you what, if that's a boyfriend and she knows this thing goes viral, which it did, obviously, I'm showing it here. Boy, I bet he's in trouble. All right, Clown World's got this on X here, and it's, this guy said, thank God my mom is based. This woman isn't. And this woman is mad. Her sons voted for Trump. Now watch this. Listen to what she says.
So here's a problem that I have dealing with my MAGA sons. They get very, very offended if I say that I think that they are ignorant to some things because of their support for this rapist and felon. But here's the thing. I have two choices when I try to understand why they would support an abhorrent human that goes against every value I try to instill in them. Here's my two choices. I can believe that you are ignorant, or I can believe that you are evil.
Wow.
Ignorant is the kinder choice.
Ignorance is the kinder choice. She's basically calling her kids evil because they voted for Donald J. Trump. Wow. Her own children, guys. What is this, what is it? This Trump derangement syndrome, this TDS. I mean, I've never, ever seen somebody that was hated this bad by one side. I mean, it's like, all right. So this is going to be a Trump supporter, and he's going to tell you about why he made his decision.
People did not choose grocery prices over your human rights. People chose grocery prices over your delusions that your rights were being taken away in the first place. Nobody is taking away your rights. Trump was already president, and he didn't take away gay marriage. He didn't enact a national abortion ban. So stop scolding working class people because they didn't prioritize your delusions over their ability to put food on the table. The people who talk so much about privilege don't seem to understand what a privileged position it is to be in, to be able to prioritize your own delusions that your rights are being taken away, to be able to prioritize that over your ability to put food on the table. I see so many people doing anything but reflecting on why the Democrat Party's message was such a resounding failure with the American people this election cycle. This was a sweeping red wave because people are tired of prioritizing fake issues. People are tired of coddling adults who demand that everybody prioritize their feelings over everyone else's ability to feed themselves.
So there you have it with that. You really want to motivate people to vote. It's usually the thing that makes us all Americans, that all of a sudden you're going to see a lot of people break from the middle, is you hit them in their pocketbooks, you hit them in their wallets. And when people start getting impacted, it's been a normal thing in American politics. If one guy is in there and the economy doesn't do so well and you could feel the crunch when you go to pay your bills or buy things, that guy is probably not going to vote for the current administration, no matter who they are, because they don't want any more of that. That's the problem with what was going on with Kamala. She was a part of an administration that upset a lot of people because they were getting hit in their pocketbook. I mean, that's the one thing that really does make Americans Americans, and that is, you'll give up your left or your right beliefs if that guy that's in there or lady's in there that's costing you money, and you don't want that no more. It gets to the point where it becomes like, you have to decide on things and you have to deal with trying to pay your bills. That's one thing that makes us all Americans. All right, Charlie Kirk. I really like Charlie. I love his campus debates with people. I've always enjoyed them. But he says here, remember when they said $15 billion was too expensive for a border wall, and then turned around and spent $7 trillion, including a $200 billion for Ukraine, without a second thought? Let's be clear.
I spoke to the president-elect on the phone 48 hours after his victory and asked him what he believes his mandate is. He told me it's to bring common sense back to the country. As for day one, he told me, I think we have a lot of firsts, and brought up strengthening the border. I pressed him on the price tag of his mass deportation plan, which experts say could be in the billions. He told me, quote, it's not a question of price tag. Really, we have no choice. When people have killed and murdered, they're not staying here. There is no price tag. I spoke to the president.
So let's look at that. I mean, it's not a question of a price tag. Yeah, people coming over here and doing stuff and should be here in the first place. I didn't understand that either. He struggled to try to get the money for the wall, and all the left did was laugh at him, mock him, and stuff about the wall. It's not going to keep people out. I've always been of the belief. I'm a bit of Ron Paul's supporter for a long time. And Ron had this belief that we should bring our troops home. All over the world, we should bring them home. And, today, by the way, is Veterans Day. I want to say thanks to all of our veterans who served and are serving. I do appreciate it. It's good to know that these people, have their day, and we all should recognize them for what they've done, for their sacrifices, and all the men that have died overseas in wars and stuff. We remember them as well. But Ron had this belief that if he brought all the troops home and keep from protecting Europe. We've had troops in Europe since World War II, and we haven't brought them home. Let Europe take care of Europe. They've got the European Union. Let them take care of it. Bring our troops home. Let them patrol our border. They need to have training. There's a whole border down there they could have training on, where they could, there's desert stuff down there, so if they could have desert warfare practices, stuff like that. Put a few bases down there alongside the border or whatever, and just patrol it. I mean, I don't see any problem with it. I mean, we've got a base in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, and you don't have any issues of people trying to run across that fence line. So, but all of a sudden, they said we didn't have money, but then they brought all this money in for Ukraine. All this stuff just popped up out of nowhere. They're not going to have a problem with him in there with the Senate and the House now. I would say they'll get the money for for the wall. All right, winding down here. Oh, okay. I wished I'd had something for this, but Alex Jones TV, Candace Owens would pay to see Trump pick Alex Jones as his press secretary. Could you imagine? Can you imagine him talking like this? It's like, next question. I could hear him saying all this. It'd be great. Alex lost a lot because of the Sandy Hook trial and stuff, and I guess his thing that he's got, his whole InfoWars, is going up for sale Wednesday. They're having an auction just because he said some things and speculated maybe that something else had occurred at Sandy Hook, and they got sued for it, and then he's lost everything, and they're going to sell his InfoWars site. I don't think that's really fair, because see, that's dangerous. Because if you say something that's not true, that you think is true, or you're just speculating, well, the government's basically saying you need to keep your mouth shut, because if you say something wrong, that could affect people. Here we go with the feelings stuff again. Law and feelings should never go side by side. They really shouldn't. But okay, let me. Oh, I was going to play that. I didn't play it. Here, listen to what she says. This is for her. She's saying if he would make Alex Jones his press secretary.
I will crawl over broken glass and give him everything I earn. We are not worthy, but Trump, please, it would be the greatest troll. The deep state hates Alex Jones with a vengeance.
Could you for a moment think about that? That would be, oh my gosh, that would be, I'm sorry, it would be hilarious. I give her credit. She's right on there. Alex Jones for press secretary. I also noticed I didn't put up the debt clock. I'll have to pull that up here in a minute. Okay, there we go with the F word right there. You can see it. This liberal is suggesting they start protesting the election by putting a mask back on. Will be my guest, because I ain't wearing one.
Easiest and most effective form of protest you have right now that you can start immediately? Put a mask back on. Stop letting them observe your face. And have the side benefit of better health and protecting the rest of us in the world. Put a mask back on. Fuck this government. Easiest.
Yeah, you always got to throw the F word in there. I mean, what is going on with? Did she just brush her teeth or something? What is going on from like?
Protecting the rest of us in the world.
Yeah, what's that? What's that right there? What's she doing?
Put a mask back on.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let her say the word again. I mean, there's just this nuttiness that's going on. It's put the mask back on. Don't let them see your face. Don't allow them to see your face, because that's a good protest. Well, whatever. Put your mask back on, I guess. I mean, I don't know what that's going to do for you. So I was going to pull up, let's see. USADebtClock.org again, because we always like to end our show with the debt clock. All right, here we go. Fix the screen a little bit here so you can see it all. There you go, guys. We're about ready to cross over to $36 trillion in debt. 36 trillion right there. 35.9890030, and I can't count the others because they change so fast. That's $106,573 per citizen. That doesn't matter what age you are. You owe that much. Or it comes out to $272,821 per taxpayer. So let's get this screen back up here. Get it up here real so we can see it. Okay. Yeah, let's go with this right there. Okay. So get my ugly mug off there. So here you have it. You've got, let's look at the debts here. So down here we see the total U.S. debt is $102 trillion. So that's if you owe a house payment, car payment, credit cards, all that. We've got 1.7 trillion in U.S. student loan debt, $1.3 trillion in credit card debt, 25 trillion in total personal debt. 76,000 is what the average citizen owes. There we go. Just look at. I say this every time, but look at that. 135.88% in debt to GDP ratio. Unreal. And then you look here again. You come down here at the bottom, and you can see Social Security. I say this all the time. There's a lot of people say, "Well, I paid my money into Social Security." Yeah, but they already used that money. That money's gone. It's there's no way nobody works all those years that could be able to take care of themselves on that amount of money that they paid in. My grandmother, I probably brought this up before, but she worked during the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, and there's no way in the world the amount of money that she was putting in at that time during the 60s, even when she was working at one of the big companies that she worked for, there's no way in the world that the amount of money they were taking out of her check is compensated for what she would live on today. There's just not. Inflation, especially now, has gotten so bad that there's no way in the world she could ever do that. She's also, we're also looking at $41.9 trillion in Medicare liability. So, these are people that are older, that no way in the world that they could have put enough money back to even replace a hip or cancer or heart issues or diabetes. No way they put that kind of money back to be able, they gave to the government. It's the scheme was to set up that people would die and that money could be used for the people who lived longer. The money's just not there. It never was. There's a term people like to call it. It's like a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, if you will. Get enough people in, and that person gets, U.S. unfunded liabilities. This is everything. Unfunded liabilities. $220.7 trillion in debt. And that comes out to $752,639 per citizen. Every man, woman, and child owes this amount of money to bring this back to zero. Never going to see it. The thing we've got to guard against, guys, when we look at this running table is, there's been a lot of talks about the CBDC talking about actually getting us on a digital dollar, and this is kind of leading us towards this. The creature Jekyll Island was born in 1913. It is what we call today the Federal Reserve, which was done by some New York City bankers, and it's a cartel of bankers. Well, they told us that they would protect the value of our dollar, and they didn't do that. I think Ron Paul said this years ago, it might have been 15 years ago. He said if the dollar was worth 100 pennies in 1913, it's worth 3 pennies now. That's how much of the value. We've lost 97% of the value of our money. And this is up here at the top, up here at the very top. This is the amount. This is who we owe it to. Is that Federal Reserve? That's where this is owed to. And if we don't pay the interest on this money, our gold that we were taken off of in 1970 by Nixon, the gold became collateral for the for what these bankers were doing for us. If we don't pay the interest on this loan, they get to collect the gold. It's like a foreclosure on a home. That's what our country's been relegated to. If we don't make that payment, and Reagan did follow the dollar back in the 80s and found out that's where he did it on the federal income tax, and that's where they figured that's where most of our federal income tax money goes, is to pay the interest on this debt. It's just, I mean, look at this, guys. 342,000 bankruptcies this year. 124,000 U.S. foreclosures this year. 44 million people right now are living in poverty. 27 million are living without insurance. 65 million are Medicare enrollees, and 89 million are Medicaid recipients. 42 million people on food stamps. That's a lot. 42 million homes. That's what that is. That's homes. Because you have to look at the fact that those food stamps are paying for kids and stuff to eat. The economy, when you look at this, doesn't look good at all. None of this says anything about a strong economy. Anybody with any common sense can look at this and go, man, we're in trouble. And we are. And if you believe in the end times, as we do here at Behind the Veil, which, by the way, I want to thank my wife for this lovely sign she had made for me. I love it. But here at Behind the Veil, you know, we believe that we are on the cusp of the end times, and we could, you know, very well be that generation. I mean, there's maybe not, but there's a lot of things that's starting to add up a lot lately that's kind of pointing us to it. I mean, we got the threat of a digital dollar, which if they get that through, they're going to have total control over everything in your life. They're going to know where every penny you spend goes. They're going to know exactly what, and if you do anything, they can shut your money supply off, and you are without any ways or means. It's where we're leading and where we're going. I know a lot of people has a lot of hope for this administration that's coming in, but I'm just saying that I don't think no amount of, I mean, this is bad. These numbers are bad that I'm looking at. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, it's like, this is America, and this is where we're at. 42 million people on food stamps. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what the answer is. Like I said, some people believe it's the CBDC. Some people think it's like Bitcoin, things like that. I don't know where we go, but obviously the dollar is destroyed. I mean, by those numbers, we are in trouble. So, anyways, I think that's going to do it for us today. I like my shirt. Looks pretty good on the camera there. I like that. 1984. Make Orwell Fiction Again. And I do have the books up behind me up there. I think if I can raise my finger. Right there. There's Animal Farm. And there's 1984. If anybody hasn't ever read those books, I strongly recommend it. And I wish they would make a U.S. government class in high school. I wish they would make those required reading. I think as it is today, all these people are supposedly, all these young people are so politically motivated now, then they shouldn't have a problem with taking government for a whole year and an economics class for a whole year. I think it should be required. I'm a pretty big history buff, And I barely remember U.S. government in high school. Now, you can make fun of me and say that's been quite a few years ago, pork chop. But yeah, it has. It's been quite a few. But I would have thought I at least would have remembered it a little bit more than I did. So, with all that being said, and the nuttiness of the people that we've watched today, I want to thank everybody for joining again. I want to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day, and thank a veteran when you see one today. God bless them, And I want to make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. We're still trying to get off the ground here. We've been doing this for about 2 months now. I got my videos on Kennedy assassination. I got the video on 9/11. I got a lot of biblical videos that we are going through Bible studies and stuff with certain things. One of them being the rapture, which could be possible, might be in our generation. So I don't know. If you get a chance, take a look at those videos. We do appreciate your support here at Behind the Veil. I want to say God bless America, and God bless our veterans. And may God be with you all in your walks and your endeavors for today. With all that being said, here Behind the Veil, we will catch you on the flip side.